Hello everybody, it's the 2nd of May today, and I'm going to be working on this rather large root over rock beech fusion project. This started out, and you can check the playlist for yourselves and see how I created this initially, of 5 individual beech trees that were bought as bare root hedging plants, being trained over this big old chunk of rock in order to create a root over rock fusion project. It's been a number of years, I can't remember exactly how long. There are no shortcuts even with fusion techniques, and if you saw the last video I made of this, you'll know it was sitting by the fence on a tub to keep it up off the ground. And it's just too heavy to move around, so I've done what I said I was going to do, and I've made a plinth and a stand for it to stand on, where I can get at it from all 4 sides and work on it, and not have to move it. The pot weighs a ton, the rock weighs a ton, and I imagine the tree is quite weighty now too. I've cleaned up all the weeds and the top of the pot, given the pot a wipe down, and removed most, not all, of the dried up leaves, and now I'm going to give it a prune and get it ready for spring. The buds are just starting to burst. You'll have gathered that I'm not going to repot this year. If we come around the back here, you'll see that there are 5 trees in total, 3 at the front, 2 at the back. This branch I've actually tweaked around and tucked in underneath, because I wasn't getting the trees sitting down onto the rock, so I can just move you around without making you feel too dizzy. You can see where that branch has now gone underneath and come out to the side, and I'm going to keep this branch for now at least, but I do want to cut it back. So I'm going to cut it back to this piece here. Let's take the weight off that's been holding it down, and I'm just going to cut that back. It's a very straight piece with a bit of boring, all the same thickness, so this will give it a little bit of taper. I may not keep it long term once it's filled in this gap, but for now it's staying. As we move up the tree, you can barely see, there's a faint line here and here and here that I can see, but only because I know they're there, and that is where the wire is. The wire wasn't taken off, it was left, and the tree has completely subsumed them. I did carve back the bark a little, just so that it grew over flat, and yeah, got a couple of scars here where trees have been cut back to try and give more taper. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this branch, which is the main part of this particular root over the rock, and I'm going to cut it back to a piece that's just here. So let me just bite the bullet, remove that piece before I change my mind. The sap is definitely rising. I got a face full. Okay, so that gives us this branch, and I'm going to remove this piece that's right behind it, which I don't like, the two in almost the same spot. So there we go, get rid of that and remove this piece that's sort of coming back across the front of the tree. And this piece. that's going straight up through the rest of the tree. Okay, so that's that branch taken care of. I'm going to remove this chunk. And I can get in there, that's better. And this piece. And can't get in there with the cutters, so I'm going to go in there with the scissors. Okay, and I might put a piece of wire on those two bits. Okay, on this side of the tree, I'm going to shorten this branch to a live bud just there and there, and then I have two branches coming from the same, almost the same spot. Here, this one that's coming out, this one that's going straight up, so this one's going to go. And shorten that back to a live bud. This one. Okay. Now then, there's another piece here I'm not too happy with, so I'm just going to snip it back, snip that back. And these pieces coming out the back to give me a bit of depth, I'm going to again just cut back to a and come around that side. Going to cut back to a live bud there. Going to remove this piece that's growing straight up. This piece I might put a piece of wire on, and this piece at the back which was thickening up, I'll come to in a minute. Okay. Now then, now, and the next decision is we have a choice really of leader. This I think is going too far back. This I feel is going too far forward, and so I'm going to remove this. These cutters are only just big enough for the job, and remove this, shorten that, and that, and thus this will become my new apex. And then I just need to sort out some branches over here. So I obviously want to leave this piece on, which is, as I said, fattening that branch, little fill in this gap, but I'm going to take off this piece around the back because I don't really want branches from my root. These have been doing the job of fattening it up, trying to make them hug the rock. which has just taken the longest time to do. At times it's almost felt as the trees have got fatter, they've moved away from the rock, although I realise that that's not really possible, but that's how it's felt. Okay, move that, and then I'm just going to get some wire, and we'll put some bits of wire on a couple of these branches. And then that's the tree pretty much set up. Back to the front, as it were, and as always I'm just reusing some odd bits of wire that I've removed from other projects. Reduce, reuse, recycle and all that. That's not thick enough for the job. Let's use this piece. Probably a bit overkill for the job, but I can wire more loosely and be able to leave it on longer because of that. And okay, so I'm just putting that piece into place, a little bit of bend. Like so, and I'm actually going to trim that back to that point. That's better. Little piece on there. They say I may well lose that branch at some point, but for now it can stay. This piece is really too thick in comparison with these pieces, but I will let these grow out and keep this shorter, and eventually these lower branches will hopefully catch up. For now I just want that piece to come down, and I'm not going to wrap it tightly. As I say, very loosely, it can stay in place for longer that way. And putting that back to a bud. This piece at the back needs to come down. To fill out that back corner. Still not sure about this, but we'll just leave that for now. Take out that bud that's growing in the inside of the arch. Curve, call it what you will, and there's just this piece. Again, I'm wrapping it really loosely, because I want this wire to stay on for a little while and not have to worry about it cutting in too badly. That branch I'm going to bring back a bit more, and that one. And then I'm going to cut it back to a live bud there. Okay, and shorten that back to a live bud. That, as they say, pretty much that. So there we have it. I can't give you a full 360, but I can give you the canvas scale, and so there we have it. As I say, this lower branch, and I'm probably repeating myself, I am repeating myself, it's not going to stay long term, and this branch has got a lot of growing, as does this one, to catch up with the thickness of that one, but it'll get there eventually. I'll let this one just grow out this season, probably this one and this one, and keep this one cut back. Interesting trunk line. Still do a little bit of swelling in this area, but maybe when this fills in it'll help with that. So all that's left to say is thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing and the commenting below. But most of all, please stay safe everybody.